We are actually very happy to be here for this voluntary handing over or voluntary request for a lifestyle audit. I held a meeting with Mr. Waqo, Mr. Mubea in Machakos, where I told them that I want Machakos to be the cleanest and best county in this country. And with the challenges of corruption and with all the things that are happening and the greed that we've seen with government officials, I suggested that it would be important for us to undertake several things. One are sting operations to catch officers who are taking bribes or engaging in corruption. And second, also to undertake a lifestyle audit. I followed that up by writing to the EACC, giving myself as an example, leading from the front, saying I want myself to be audited for lifestyle audit, and also requesting that my officers be done the same. And I received a reply which required us to collect information. If I can look at the letter just quickly. The information that were wanted were the bank accounts for my CEC members, Deputy Governor, County Secretary, Principal Finance Officer, Chief Accountant and Head of Supply Management, PIN numbers, ID card numbers, particulars of the previous employer, wealth declaration forms, names of their spouses, children, ID numbers, etc. etc. In other words, a person's life to be fully investigated. And that is what we have we've brought today. After we got the letter from the EACC, we communicated to all our members, and I'm very happy to say that my cabinet, together with my chief officers and directors, have all basically complied. The only information that we are missing is that from the Deputy Governor, Mr. Bernard Kiala, who has, for whatever reason, refused to provide that information to be handed over to the EACC. So we hope that he'll be able to do that, because we are not sure what he's hiding. The fight against corruption has to be fought with action and not just proclamations. It has become very common for government officials to enrich themselves through corruption as our people wallow in poverty. The Maendeleo Chap Chap movement that we've been talking about is based on the premise that the only way to effect speedy development is through zero corruption and value for money, especially in procurement. The money given to government officials to use is not personal property. We leaders and government officials are servants and custodians of public resources. We should therefore be accountable and be able to save money. Our country is a poor country. In actual fact, according to the United Nations, we are the 133rd poorest country in the world. And I blame this on corruption. In actual fact, if truth be told, the challenge we face on many areas, from terrorism to dilapidated roads to lack of medicine, are because government officials are busy cutting deals, inflating prices, taking bribes, grabbing public land, and also conniving on how to undercut each other because of money, just stealing from the public. I want to commend President Uhuru Kenyatta for appointing the committee, or is it a task force, to come up with strategies to deal with corruption. This is because the perception in the country is that corruption is at a very, very bad level. Others are even saying it is cancer at level 4. And I hope that the strategies that you'll come up with will, and this is something we discussed in the morning, I would highly recommend that all heads of department, may you be an OCPD, may you be a chief, all heads of departments, a doctor, a superintendent, to be held personally responsible for any corruption happening within their offices by their own officers. That way kila mtu atakaa chonjo, so that you don't have to wait until EACC comes to you. You are the one who is responsible for any corruption. So if your officers are getting bribes, if documentations are missing within your department, then you're also held responsible as maybe a beneficiary of those actions. So you can take care of it as a preventive measure. I also call upon other leaders in this country, members of parliament, senators, other governors, cabinet secretaries, principal secretaries, CEOs of parastatals to follow suit what we've done, to actually also themselves voluntarily come and say, audit me, niangalie hii mali niko nayo ni yangu. Then that way we lead from the front, and then our officers will find out that, you know, transparency and accountability are important.